in every single day that we live, we need spirituality. It's like when we are scared to die, that is spirituality in action.
Oh. Hello everyone, welcome back to the series. My name is Jason and today I will be your host for this podcast, Jason in a Chatterbox, JAAC, a podcast where I learn about things in life from a series of discussion with my friends or expert, and also to improve myself as a better conversationalist. So in this episode, right, actually I'm going to talk about spirituality, but wait, we are not talking about spirituality itself. We are talking about the leader figure of the spiritual group and the belief group, in order to understand what is the behind the scene and then what is going on. For example, what is their early experience and then what is the work done beside the main on the day service itself. For this purpose, actually, I'm inviting my longtime friend, and I said long time because I've known him possibly since he was in high school, and now he's already married, blessed with two furry children called Molly and Bob, and I personally consider himself as a significant local spiritual leader. So please welcome Michael Gunawan. Thank you for joining, Michael.
Hi Jason, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna say hi to the audience too.
You can tell us more about yourself. What you're doing mostly.
So for those who don't know who I am, and I don't think many people do in Singapore, I'm Michael. I'm a pastor in a local church in Surabaya, which is called GSGS. Does it make sense? Yeah. It's a church that my dad started around 11 years ago. And right now I'm the lead pastor in a branch in West Surabaya, which is located in a mall, which is actually the biggest mall in Southeast Asia, which is Pakuan Mall. And right now we're doing online service and on-site services, which hosts a lot of people on-site around 2,000-ish now during the pandemic with social distancing, and online a few tens of thousands of people from all around the world, from Singapore, from Europe mostly, and especially all over Indonesia. Yeah, so that's it about me.
Amazing. So should for this session, should I address you as pastor or I can call you Michael?
Just call me Michael.
Okay.
Everybody else is calling me pastor. It's time somebody called me something else.
Okay, Michael. So yeah, before that, right, I'm actually curious. So as a pastor and in the local church of Surabaya, what is your day-to-day looks like outside the main service?
So my day-to-day service is like, I will pray for all of the people who goes to my church.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will do Zoom meetings. We have a few prayer meetings right now. We have every Tuesday, which is called Sela, which means pause. We do that every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Indonesia time. On Thursday, we have prayer meetings. Saturday, we have youth service. And on Sunday, we have the church for the whole day.
Yeah, from the way that you're telling me, right, it seems like there's a lot of things going on even during the weekday and the weekend.
Of course.
And then I'm curious, do you even have a day off actually?
Actually, I now that I think about it, I don't really have a day off.
Wow.
It's like, but I don't feel. Does that make sense? I don't have a day off, but I don't feel like I don't have a day off because I enjoy what I do. So when we enjoy what we do, it doesn't become a burden. You know, so sometimes I need a day off because we're too tired. We're fed up with our job. We're tired of the people we're meeting. But in my case, I enjoy what I do. This is my passion, and I love the people that I work with. So it doesn't feel like, it feels like every day is a day off.
Oh wow, that's very motivating actually. So okay, now I'm also curious about your background, right? I think it's somehow like a public knowledge, at least in the local community, that you are from the pastor or like the church family, right?
Yes.
But are there any specific particular things or chain of event that starts your spiritual leadership journey actually?
Actually, it's more of a spiritual calling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't study in a seminary at first. I studied as a doctor. I went to medical school, and I realized my calling when I started my internship. I mean, started as in like one day. Like I felt that this is not what I'm supposed to do. So
you mean your housemanship as the medical student, right?
Yeah, internship as a doctor. Yeah.
Okay,
during the first day, I immediately knew that this wasn't for me, and from that day onwards, I made the executive decision to be a pastor. Yeah, I've always known I wanted to be a pastor, like Jason.
Yeah.
Right. But I was struggling with it, because I was like, can I make it? People around me are saying, can you really make it? I was like, yeah, maybe I can make it. So I studied medicine, but I realized that I can't get away from my calling.
So there's some people that actually doubting or hesitating about it.
Oh, lots of people doubted me. They all kept saying, come on, you should be a doctor. There's no future in becoming a pastor. Back then, I didn't lead the church. Yeah, I was just a young guy who wanted to lead a church. So not many people believed in me.
So how long ago was that? Was it like 7 years ago?
That was like 3 years ago. That's like 3 to 4 years ago. Actually, that was when was?
How old were you then?
I was 23. I'm now 27. So that's 24, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I was 22. So that was like 5 years ago. I'm 27, by the way.
I still can't understand the immense responsibility. So is the main reason why do you want to be a spiritual leader actually because it's the calling, right?
Yeah, it's a calling, and the what I want to do with my life, how I want to affect other people, and how I can help other people through what God put in me. Yeah, that's the main reason why I became a pastor.
So yeah, you just mentioned about the medical degree, and then it seems that you don't like it.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question point that I'm curious. Right, let's say, because since you studied medicine, are there any particular points that you can draw in line between medical study and then your spiritual leadership journey?
Actually, most people think that medicine and science is the opposite of of Christianity, but spirituality. But trust me, it's not. Like many of my professors, they have a very high degree. They all kept saying that we are not the ones who heal. It's God who heals through us. So the more that we learn, the more that we understand that there are things in our life that we cannot control, like especially medicine. You even if you have all the knowledge in the world, but when it's a time for the person to die, he or she will die. So the more we learn to humble ourselves, and the more that we understand that we are so limited. So those people who say that, oh, science and religion
it's two separate things.
Two separate things can't go in line together. Yeah, those people are usually not really that smart. I'm sorry to say, those are like those people who have a can I say a small understanding of what it really is,
like the limited understanding of how the world works.
Yeah, how the world works. Because the more that we learn, the more that we understand things that are happening around us, the more that we understand that spirituality is really important for me. Yeah, and don't forget, like in the start, you kind of said that, oh, don't worry, we're not talking about spirituality. Like spirituality has become a taboo in our culture. So it's oh, no, you shouldn't be too spiritual. No. But in every single day that we live, we need spirituality. It's like when we are scared to die, that is spirituality in action.
Oh, okay.
Like why are you scared to die? Because you don't know where you're going to go. And that is part of spirituality itself. So let's not like differentiate spirituality with regular life, because it's part of it.
So actually, means that spirituality is already an essential or part of aspect of life without we are knowing about it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's very interesting insight, Michael, not Pastor, for this session in Michael. Okay. Yeah, and then you are now 27, right? And then what do you see as the most important aspect of being a young leader? Because I believe in the church community, there's a lot of like the older and the more senior, but for young leader, how they can be say outstanding to serve the ministry.
Yeah. So because this is not a Christian podcast, so I won't like open the Bible, but there's this verse in the Bible that where an apostle called Paul he was teaching and giving advice to his apprentice called Timothy. He told Timothy that, hey, even though you're young and you're leading the church, but be an example in everything you do. Yeah, and that is one of the most important things that I hold on to till today. And I think that applies to everything else. Be an example, because if we're just talking and talking and talking and we're not doing, the right phrase is, if you don't walk the talk, if you just talk the talk and you don't walk the talk, like nobody will listen to you. But if you're a person who leads by example, like people will follow you even though they're older, because they see the example that you set in what you say, in how you do it, in your passion, in your work ethic and everything else, and people will follow, no matter your age, and it applies to every job.
Because the benchmark now is how good or how well you are doing, right? It's not like how old or how senior about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then let's say you are asked, and then in one aspect, what can you improve in yourself as a spiritual leader? Actually,
there's a lot I can improve. I'm a person who is not easily satisfied with myself. So people might say that I'm a kind of a control freak. Yeah,
that's like idealism or like perfectionist, or which one?
Perfectionism, perfectionism and control freak. That's who I am. So it's like I keep striving to be better, because I feel that even though you're good today, you might not be as good tomorrow. So if we're not careful, and if we're not consistent, and we're not always improving, somebody else is going to take over. It's like nobody's waiting for you in life. So nobody's waiting for you to improve, and they're going to improve whether you improve or not. So for me, it's really important for us to keep improving. And even though like people around you are saying, "Oh, you're good, you're awesome," but tomorrow they may not say the same. So you might as well improve.
There might be some prodigy out there that might be like beating you on the competition, right?
Yeah, there might be somebody else. Even though if they're not prodigy, but if they're hardworking, they can easily overtake you. It's not. I'm not saying that spirituality and what I do is a competition based thing, but life is like that. That's life. You know, I started a channel called Real Talk because we should be talking about these things. Life is a competition, whether we like it or not. Some people say, "Oh no, you don't need to compete in life," but it's a competition, and nobody is waiting for you. Even though they are saying, "Oh, life is a competition," but they still want to beat you. So you shouldn't be complacent. That's the right word for it. But you should always be improving yourself.
That's very good point. So people, please keep going through in life. Maybe in this difficult situation, please keep going through, as our brother Micah said.
Yeah.
So I saw on some of your stories actually. So this might be a little segue. It's not about the spiritual leadership.
Yeah.
But I saw that you sometimes hosted the youth Q&A, right? The youth surface Q&A.
Yeah.
And then sometimes this thing pop up on my mind. Have you ever exhausted because you keep facing repeating youth problem again and again because it's similar from time to time? How do you feel about it?
So I believe that there are two different things there. I mean, first, burning out, and second is being bored.
Yeah.
If what you mean is burning out, I've burned out a few times, but
Wow.
I've managed to bounce back from it. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But but if boring is what you're asking, yeah, I don't really feel bored because
Okay.
I'm a person who likes to repeat. I like repetition, so
okay.
yeah, so I don't mind doing the same thing over and over again.
So the familiarity doesn't bore you out, right?
Oh no, it actually strengthens me. Yeah.
But yeah,
actually, it's a comfort zone. Actually, I feel comfortable in familiarity.
Okay. But let's say you are thrown out of the comfort zone. How do you feel? Are you ready for it?
Of course, I'm always up for any challenge because again, I don't like being complacent. So when there's a big challenge, especially if that challenge is really, 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 really challenging, I love it.
So about burning out, right? I think during the early period of the church, like your local church, I saw it's like 10 sessions, I believe.
Yeah.
10 sessions.
Yeah.
So how do you cope up with the burnout because of the survey?
Yeah, I don't really burn out because of the number of services. It's because I burned out because I was looking at what I do in a wrong perspective. I was always thinking that I need to get something out of it.
Okay.
Like when I repeat myself over and over again, it's like I know the answer, but people are getting blessed, people are getting answers, but I feel like I'm not getting anything. I feel like that's just what I do. Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I burned out a few times. It's like I feel like I've given enough. Like there's nothing more that I can give. But how I cope with it, if that's what you want to know, is that in my this is in my line of work.
Right.
How I cope with it is like we are called to be a blessing, and being a blessing in any work, in any line of job, being a blessing doesn't mean that you have to get something out of it. Actually, you have to give. The more you give, the more you become a blessing. And being a blessing, giving is not always nice. It's not always comfortable. It's not always fulfilling. But that's part of the calling. So if you know your calling, no matter the difficulties, no matter the unfamiliarities and everything else, you can learn to get through it because you know how your life will affect other people. If that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but the blessing or the giving is not necessarily to be in the materialistic form, right? Can be
no.
in any other form, right?
Like a lot of people that I know owns a lot of money, but they can't sleep. So what kind of blessing is that? That's not blessing. Like for me, if you're blessed, it's like you have peace, you have joy, you can sleep at night, you can eat well. Yeah, that's a big blessing for me. Money is just a bonus because I know a lot of rich people who are so miserable in life.
Yeah, that's true. So riches doesn't solve problems anyway.
Materialistic doesn't solve anything.
So okay, now we are in the pandemic. So I mean, everyone, the listener and viewer might be aware of it. But I wonder, are there any particular challenge that you are facing nowadays as a young leader? Maybe the pandemic or any other things. Just feel free to worry out. I like to learn as well.
Oh, so the challenges that I'm facing.
Yes.
Challenges that I'm facing is that nowadays, like young people are not really good at paying attention to something because we have too many choices, and that leads us to not be able to focus. Yeah. I've seen a lot of young people who are excited about one thing in a day, and they lose interest in a day. So that's for me. That's one of the things. One of the challenges that I'm facing for reaching young people, because young people will like listen to you one day and not listen to you another day because we have so many choices. It's like the paradox of choice is so evident today. Like people are like able to choose what they want to hear and what they don't want to hear. So yeah, that's kind of a challenge for me.
I think it's a compounded issue of the choice paradox and then the short attention span, perhaps, right?
Yeah.
So that's accumulated into the difficulty to reaching young people. Is that?
Yeah. Even older people nowadays are doing the same.
And then how about so that one is the current challenge that you're facing. Do you feel that are there another challenge that you faced way before during your spiritual leadership that doesn't exist again now?
So what has changed?
Yes, what has changed?
So it used to be like if we wanted to have a service, we need to be in a room at a certain time at a certain place. But right now, because of the pandemic, you can have church service like 3 a.m, even though you're not at church, but you can have service at 3 a.m. in the morning. And yeah, for me, that's a good improvement because we can reach more people at more times. So I'm not limited to where I am, but I'm limited to the device that I have. So
to the technology, the one that we have, right?
Yeah, and if we know technology, that's not a big problem.
That's like a really good point. Now, with everything is online, you can easily reach out to more people.
Yeah, but again, the paradox of choice. There are so many choices online. So
right.
Yeah, it's always a challenge that always comes around. What goes around comes around.
Do you have any particular memorable moment actually, like during your experience as leading your spiritual community?
Of course, like in the early days of my ministry, a lot of people looked down on me. A lot of people like saw that I was a young boy who just started becoming a pastor, and yeah, that kind of made me feel insecure about myself. Like every time I talk, I would always like keep second guessing myself. Like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Does people does people think well of me? Do people like me and everything else? So that is a challenge that I face and I'm still facing today. But if you're asking about memorable moments, there was like a whole family who wanted to enter the church. I was preaching, but I was ushering as well. Then they asked me, "Oh, who's preaching today?"
Okay.
I said, "Me." Then they left. The whole family left. Like around 7 people because they heard that I was preaching. Like,
how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I used to feel very bad. I used to want to quit. But actually, those things make us better because if we don't face any difficulties, we won't get to improve in life. So if you're talking about memorable moments, there are more like that. So I don't think I should I should tell you more because it's mostly like that. That was another thing. I was like,
please feel free to share.
I really wanted to preach outside of my local church. I wanted to be invited to the church, other local churches. So I would like send the recordings of my sermon to other churches. I sent a letter. I sent the recording on a CD. You remember what CD is?
Yes. Compact disc for viewer. I'll put a picture, maybe. Yeah.
But nobody wrote back. Not a single one wrote back. Not a single one had the decency to say sorry. We don't accept.
Oh my God.
Yeah, around 10 churches, but yeah, but the positive thing is like right now, like God is using me, and he's making it up as we go.
It's a God's plan, right?
Yeah, it's God's plan.
So viewers, if you don't know, actually nowadays you might saw maybe in your local churches in Indonesia, maybe there's a lot of invitation. So so if you want Michael to came in, then maybe ask your church to write into Michael, maybe. So yeah, that's that. I think your memorable moment is more like a bitter pill, like oh no, like are there any like sweet pill that you have before?
Well, of course, it's like when few months ago, I just realized that all of the people that I idolized during my teenage years, they were like people I looked up to. Idolize is not the right word. So I
You
looked
look
up,
up to like
yeah,
yours.
I looked up to them. They were like my role models. They are now like serving at church with me. They're now my
Wow.
friends, and they're now serving with me in the church that I lead. So in a sense, I lead the people that I used to look up to. So that's kind of a sweet thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there must be I think the equivalent, let's say you are a new upcoming artist and you are performing with your favorite artist, right?
There we go. I'm collaborating. I'm
Collaborating.
with you know, like with older
Like your
senior.
or like your the senior,
Yeah.
senior spiritual leader, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I actually have one last thing.
Yeah.
So, are there anything that you want to share to new and upcoming young aspiring spiritual leader? Actually, feel free to share.
So, I wouldn't limit myself with spiritual leaders.
Yep. It also can be a regular leader as well.
The scope is a little small, but I would say this to all the leaders that are aspiring to be great one day.
Mm-hmm.
3 points, which is first, never quit, because you might never know when your next break might be. That's the first one. And second, you cannot please everyone. So if you live a life that wants to please every single person in your life, be prepared to be disappointed. And 3, never forget where you came from.
Oh,
because sometimes when we're like being exposed, like we're getting promotions, we're getting more publicity. It's like we start to get arrogant. We start to get we think that you're better than everyone else. So never forget where you came from. Never forget where you came from, and that applies to like how we treat other people. Because some people who reach the top, they think that this is my hard work. But don't forget, that you used to be down there.
Mm-hmm. So you need to recall where you came from. Yeah. Where is your origin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, it's been half an hour past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Time flies, right? So yeah, okay. So I guess that's what I have for today. Actually, thank you, Michael, for joining me and then talking about your experience as a spiritual leader. So let's say people want to find out more about you and then what's your work about. Are there any particular things that you want? Where do people can find you actually?
Just my Instagram at @Gunawan. That's it. That's my whole life, and yeah, just Instagram. I don't really have a Facebook.
And actually, I think you recently made a TikTok, right?
Oh yeah. I just started, all the platforms that I can get on. Or YouTube will be better. Yeah. You can subscribe to Real Talk with Michael Gunawan.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the comeback actually.
Oh yeah. Because we've been on a hiatus.
Yes.
Because of the pandemic, but yeah, it's gonna start again soon.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yes, I'm waiting for it. Okay, so yeah, that's all, viewers and listeners. That's what we have for today. Thank you for tuning in this episode. And this episode should be available in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. It should be available in all the streaming service soon. And the video podcast will be available in the YouTube streaming service. So yeah, that's all that I have today. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Okay, thank you, Michael.
Okay, thank you, Jay.